Hi students, welcome back to Vijay Datta chemistry classes. This is Purnima ma'am. Today we are going to discuss about the quantum numbers. See, what are the quantum numbers and how to identify those quantum numbers, just we are discussing today. These quantum numbers are very important to identify the electron, where the electron exactly presents. Okay, let us enter into the topic quantum numbers. See, quantum numbers. How many quantum numbers we have? First of all, let us see. Total we have a four quantum numbers. First one is the principal quantum number. Principal quantum number. Second one is the azimuthal quantum number. Second one is azimuthal quantum number. And see, the next one is, the third one is magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number. And the last one is the spin quantum number. Last one is spin quantum number. Okay, see here. So, how these quantum numbers are helping us? Actually, the work of these quantum numbers is nothing but identifying the electron exactly where it is present in an atom. We have talking about the calcium atomic number is 20. Suppose I want to know where the 10th electron of calcium exactly presents. So where the 10th electron of the calcium exactly presents, I can identify by using these quantum numbers. So easily we can say that to address the electron, where exactly it is present in an atom, these four quantum numbers helps us to identify or to address. Okay, students, see, how to address is nothing but, see here, we want to find one person. Okay, we want to find search one particular person in this world. Okay, then what are the requirements we have to search for that person? First, we should know that the country, the country to which that person belongs to. And the second information we should know to address that person, in which city in that country, in which city that person belongs to, we should know these also. And the third requirement is, and in that city, in which street that person belongs to, we should know. And again we know the street also, and then in which apartment exactly that person is residing. That is nothing but, we can go to the house number and which house number that person is staying. So these are helpful. If we want to search one person, we should know minimum these requirements. We should know his country, his city, his street, and his house number. Like that only, to address the electron, we should know minimum these requirements. If we know the principal quantum number, we can tell them in which orbit it is present. If we know the azimuthal quantum number, in which orbital it is present. If we know the magnetic quantum number, particularly in which degenerate orbital the electron is present, we should know. It is orbit, again in that orbit orbital, again in the orbital degenerate orbital. Again spin quantum number gives, again each degenerate orbital having two electrons. Out of that two, exactly which electron about we are talking. So to address the electrons, these four quantum numbers helps us easily. Okay, let us start with the principal quantum number, guys. Okay, come to the first quantum number, principal quantum number. See, this principal quantum number was proposed by Bohr. Principal quantum number was proposed by Bohr. Okay, see, uh, Bohr. already we know that in the Bohr's quantum theories, or in the Bohr's postulates also, we have studied that he assumed or he proposed the principal quantum number, that only this. And this principal quantum number designated or denoted with small n. Okay, see, this small n means it represents the principal quantum number represents size and energy, size and energy of the shell, which is very very important. It gives the information about the size and energy of the shell, to which the electron belongs to which the electron belongs to. Whatever the electron we want to address, that electron size is what, energy is what, and to which electron that belongs to will be given by this principal quantum number. See here, generally, n value, when n equal to 1, the orbit number will be k. N equal to 2, it is the orbit designation of orbit or shell. L, when n equal to 3, that is m shell. N equal to 4, n shell. N equal to 5, o shell, like that. So it depends on that. N value is giving the orbit, in which orbit it is presenting. Actually, it is the nucleus. Then these are the orbits. When n equal to 1, first orbit, that is k shell or k orbit. N equal to 2, second shell. Then L shell. N equal to 3, n equal to 3, m shell. N equals to 4, n shell, capital N, we designated with the capital N, like that. So that is also the same here. And also here, the very important point in the principal quantum number is n value is higher. N value is higher, then automatically the distance from the nucleus will be increases. See here, n equal to 1, first shell is nearer to the nucleus, second shell is little bit far, third shell is little bit far, fourth shell is little bit far. So when n value is higher, then the distance from the nucleus also increases. Distance from nucleus also increases. Distance from nucleus also it increases. Then come to the, when n value is higher, it will have a, n value is increasing, then energy of the orbit or energy of the electron or magnitude of energy also will be increases. See here, because when we are calculating, when we are talking about the n value is higher, then distance from the nucleus is increasing is nothing but r value increases. What we know according to the Bohr R value, Rn equal to 0.529 into n square by z angstroms. When R1 is less than, R2 is less than, R3 is less than R4. So when R radius value increases, when n value is increasing, right? Comes to the next, already we also have done the energy of nth orbit relation. What is the energy of nth orbit relation? Minus 2.18 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into z square by n square joule per atom. This one I have taken in the joule per atom. Whereas come to here, higher the value of n, greater is the magnitude of energy. See here, magnitude is nothing but direction. Direction also we can say. So energy separation between two shells decreases and moving away from the nucleus. Separation between the energy, two shells, between two shells also decreases when we are moving away from the nucleus. These are the very important points in the mains and need point of view, guys. So here, how can we brought this relation? E1 is less than E2 is less than E3, and so on. And also, if the difference you are taking, E2 minus E1 is greater than E3 minus E2, which is greater than E4 minus E3. So they have brought the relation just like this. Okay, so the energy, the direction, the magnitude of the energy will be increases, but the separation between the two shells decreases. Separation is nothing but the change in energy between the two shells decreases. And also, one more point we know about the principal quantum number is maximum number of electrons. Maximum number of electrons present in a shell. Maximum number of electrons present in a shell or orbit. The formula is given as 2n square. When n equal to 1 means first shell, then 2 into 1 whole square is nothing but 2. So first shell, K shell has 2 electrons. Whereas come to n equals to 2, then 2 into 2 whole square, that is nothing but 8. Then L shell has 8 electrons. When n equals to 3, 2 into 3 whole square, 2 3 square, see it is 18. That is nothing but M shell has 18 electrons. 3 square means 3 2s are 9, 2s are 18, 8 electrons. So like that, when we can calculate the number of electrons present in the shell or orbit also. And also see here, by using the one more important point, by using the principal quantum number, we can calculate we can calculate angular momentum. What is the formula for angular momentum? MVR equal to NH by 2 pi. So MVR equal to NH by 2 pi. If we know the n value, then also we can calculate the angular momentum. Okay, so these are the information we can get from the principal quantum number, guys. Okay, now come to the azimuthal quantum number. So what is meant by azimuthal quantum number and who proposed this azimuthal quantum number? Let us see. So the next one is azimuthal quantum number. Next one is azimuthal quantum number. Quantum number compulsory question we can expect from the atomic structure, guys. Okay, see, it was given by Sommerfeld. It was given by Sommerfeld. And this azimuthal quantum number represents with small l. Represents with small l. And see, this azimuthal quantum number also known as this azimuthal quantum number also known as angular quantum number, we can say, or subsidiary quantum number or secondary quantum number. All these are the another names to the azimuthal quantum number. What is the first one? Angular quantum number, like angular quantum number, or subsidiary quantum number, or secondary quantum number, so these are the another names to the azimuthal quantum number. It was proposed by Sommerfeld, and it is represented with the small l. Let us see what is the information we can know from the azimuthal quantum number. And the first one and very basic one is nothing but the l value. L value should less than n. This is only the key point to the azimuthal quantum number. N should always, n is greater than L always. When n equal to 1, L value will be 0. When n equals to 2, L should less than, right? So L can have 0 and 1 values. When n equals to 3, L can have 0, 1, 2 values. When n equal to 3, L can have 0, 1, 2. Sorry, n value is 4. L can have 0, 1, 2, 3 like values. So always n should be less than L. When n equal to 1, it is a K shell. And also when L equal to 0, that orbital we represent as the S orbital. S orbital. What is the definition for orbital actually? The probability of finding an electron, the probability of finding an electron is maximum. Maximum is nothing but we can take 95%. That is called orbital. The probability of finding an electron is maximum. So when n equal to 1, that is the K orbit, which is that only one s orbital is present. When n equal to 2, Then it comes to the L shell. L shell, where L equal to 0 means s orbital, L equal to 1 means p orbital. In the L shell, s and p orbitals will be present. Whereas come to the L, L value 0, 1, 2 when n equal to 3. When n equal to 3 is nothing but M shell. M shell can have s orbital, p orbital, d orbital. And when n shell, then it can has s, p, d, f. And also here guys, we should remember that when L equal to 1, that is called s orbital. S orbital. When L equal to 1, that is p orbital. When L equal to 1, that is p orbital. L equal to 2, d orbital. D orbital. When L equal to 3, that is F orbital. And here one important thing we can know from this one, S subshell or S orbital also we can say. And here it describes the, this L describes the spatial distribution of electrons. See how the spatial distribution of electron cloud and angular momentum, both mvr equal to nh by 2 pi, and the spatial distribution will be given by this. It gives the name of the subshell with the main shell, that is nothing but k shell. It has the L value 0, s orbital, L p orbital, d orbital, f orbital like. And here we come to know one very important point in the azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number gives us very important point, that is, see, in the previous 2 n square, very very important, k shell has 2 electrons we shed, right? And L shell has 8 electrons because of the formula 2n square formula. When n equal to 1, K shell. When n equal to 2, L shell. When n equal to 3, M shell has 18 electrons. When n equal to 4, capital N shell has the 2 into 4 whole square, then 32 electrons it has. Okay, this is the information from the N shell. I want to compare, come to the azimuthal quantum number, L values. From this we come to know that when n equal to 1, L has 0 means n always greater than L, right? When n equal to 2, L has 0 comma 1. When n equal to 3, L has 0 1 2. When n equal to 4, L has 0 1 2 3. Already we designated that 0 is nothing but s orbital. Sorry guys, s orbital. And L equal to s and p orbital, spd. And here spdf. Here I want to tell you one thing. See, each orbital can accommodate only 2 electrons. Each orbital can accommodate can accommodate only 2 electrons, isn't it? Only 2 electrons. So that's why when n equal to 1, it has only one orbital, that's why it has 2 electrons. Whereas come to the sp, n equal to 2, it has s and p. S has only 2 electrons, whereas come to the p, p has degenerate orbitals like px, py, pz. Then each orbital accommodated with the 2 electrons. I fill it according to the Hans Rule. Then let us see here, in the p 6 electrons and in the s 8 electrons. So in the n equal to 2, it has 8 electrons given by the 2n square formula is correct. So that 8 electrons where they are present, 2 electrons are present in the s orbital and remaining 6 electrons present in the p orbital. That is what the information given by the azimuthal quantum number. We can go for the next one. When n equal to 3, we have spd. S orbital has only one, p orbital has 1 2 3, d orbital has 1 2 3 4 5, right? So here each orbital can accommodate 2 electrons. Here like that, how many are there? 3 are there. Each can accommodate 2 electrons. Then p has 6 electrons. Whereas come to the d, like that it has 5. So in the D can accommodate, according to each one can accommodate 2 electrons, then D can accommodate 10 electrons. So total number of electrons in the third orbit is 10 plus 6 plus 2, so 18 electrons. That is what the information given by n equal to 3. So 2n square principal quantum number is giving how many number of electrons are present in the third shell, and azimuthal quantum number given that 18 electrons are present in the orbitals, and how many electrons are present in the each orbital also given by the azimuthal quantum number. So here S has 2 electrons, P has 6 electrons, D has 10 electrons. Total 18 electrons are present in the third shell. Here 8 electrons, 2 electrons from S, 6 electrons from the P. Total 8 electrons are present. The same. See, n equal to 4, 32 electrons we said. So obviously F orbital introducing. Then S has 2 electrons when n equal to 4. S has 2 electrons. Then P has 6 electrons. D has 10 electrons. Whereas come to the F has 7 degenerate orbitals. What is meant by degenerate orbitals? They are having the same amount of energy, okay, but splitting into different orbitals like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and again 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. So total 14 electrons will be present. Just if you count, these are 18 and these are 14, so 32 electrons. N equal to 4, fourth orbit has 32 electrons. Those are in the s orbital 2 electrons, p orbital 6 electrons, d orbital 10 electrons, f orbital 14 electrons. F orbital 14 electrons. See here, one more important point here I want to tell you. Is there 1p is existing, 2d is existing, 3f is existing? No, they are not existing. Why? Because if you observe clearly, p orbital is starting from n equal to 2. In n, when n equal to 1, see, when n equal to 1, there is only one orbital, that is s orbital. When n equal to 2, there is s and p orbitals. When n equal to 3, there is s p d orbitals. When n equal to 4, s p d f orbital. That's why while writing the electronic configuration, we'll write 1s 2s 2p, 3s 3p 3d, 4s 4p 4d 4f, like that. Why? Because see, why we are not writing 1p? Because in the when n equal to 1, there is no p orbital, only L has one value, that is 0. 0 means s orbital. That's why 1p is not existing. Whereas come to n equal to 2, L value is 0 comma 1. 0 comma 1 is nothing but s orbital and p orbital. That's why 2d is not existing. Whereas come to the n equal to 3, only L can have 0, 1, 2 values, because always n should greater than L. That's why 3s, 3p, 3d is existing. There is no 3f is existing. F is introducing from when n equal to 4. That's why 4f. If you observe here, 4s is nothing but n plus L value. N equal to 4, L equal to s orbital L value 0. For 4f, if you write 1p like that, see here, if you write 1p, 1p is not existing. Why it is not existing? Still you have a doubt. 4f, if you write n equal to 4, L equal to, see, f L equal to 3, always n greater than L. If you write 1p, n value is 1, but L value is, L value for p orbital already given. L value for p orbital is 1. L value for p orbital is 1. So n equal to L, this is wrong statement. What is the statement? Always n should greater than L, not equal to also. Always n greater than L. That is the reason 1p, 2d. If you see for 2d, n equal to 2, then what about L value for d? 2 only. It is not possible. for 3f, it is not possible because n equal to 3, l equal to 3, l always less than n, always greater than l, or l always less than n. Only this relation should have been given. So this is about the azimuthal quantum number. Okay, azimuthal quantum number is giving the information about the spatial distribution of the electrons into the orbitals. That is what the information given by the azimuthal quantum number. Yes, guys, always you have to remember the relation in the azimuthal quantum number. N greater than L, and L depends on N. L depends on N. Okay, so when N equal to 1, L values are 0. So this is the information we should remember. Whereas come to the N is independent. It is independently it is forming. N is not depending on anything, and n never be 0. N is not equal to 0. If it is 0 orbital, then how can we say where the electron is present? There is no orbit. Then how can we say where the electron is present in that orbit? So n never be 0. This is the information we are getting from the principal quantum number and azimuthal quantum number. Next come to the magnetic quantum number. See, magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number is giving the information about the spatial orientation. It is given by Landema. See, third one is magnetic quantum number. Very important. These are magnetic quantum number. So this magnetic quantum number was proposed by Lande, and see here, this magnetic quantum represents with small m. Magnetic quantum number represents with small m. Here, the splitting of a single spectral line into a number of closely spaced lines in the presence of magnetic field. This is nothing but, see here, Zeeman effect and Stark effect. Splitting into spectral lines. This is Lande. In some books, it will be Lindema. Okay, so magnetic quantum number is given by the Linde, and he proposed that electrons producing single line has several possible spatial orientations. That is nothing but splitting into spectral lines. That is what it was given by the magnetic quantum number. The main agenda of magnetic quantum number and Linde was proposed. That Linde proposed, what he proposed, that Linde proposed that the very important statement, that is the same angular, sorry, the electron producing a single line, the electron producing a single line, the electron producing a single line has several possible spatial orientations. That is what here we are going to study. So the magnetic quantum is giving information about the spatial orientation. Okay, now n is independent, l is depending on n. Like that only m depends on l. M depends on L. M value is 2L plus 1. M value is 2 plus 1. M equal to 2L plus 1. And the M values are in between minus L to including 0 to plus L. Got it? M always depends on L. M values are in between minus L to plus L, including 0, like we can say. Let us see here. M equal to 2L plus 1, the formula I have given, and I am telling that M depends on L. How it depends on L, let us see. So I am taking when L equal to 0. L equal to 0 is nothing but S orbital. So now we are talking about the S orbital, that is M equal to 2 into 0 plus 1. When 2 into 0 means 0, 0 plus 1 is nothing but 1. It is not integer. M has one value when L equal to 0, that is in S orbital. That is nothing but M has only one value. That value is nothing but 0. That value is nothing but 0. That is what m has minus L to plus L including 0 values. That it has only one value. That value will be 0. When I'm taking when L equal to 1, then that is called p orbital. That is p orbital. Then m equal to 2 into 1 plus 1, that is 3, means p orbital has three values. What are these three values? Already we know that p has three degenerate orbitals, that is px, py, pz. This is the spatial orientation. Splitting into the spatial orientation. When electron is giving one line, but it is splitting into the several possible spatial orientations is nothing but this only. When electron is coming, then px, py, pz. You can ask why is s orbital has only one value, because it is non-directional or unidirectional. When we are drawing the lines, we are getting the spherical like that's why that is unidirectional or non-directional. Whereas come to the it has three values. That three values lies in between L value ma. What is the L value for this one? So it can have minus 1, 2 plus 1 including 0. So whenever we are getting the px, its value will be minus 1, py is 0, pz is plus 1. Those are the values we should know. Come to here, when L equal to 2, then that is d orbital. When L equal to 2, then that is d orbital. Then 2 into 2 plus 1. Total d orbital has 5 values. What are those 5 values? Why it has 5 values means d can split into 5 degenerate orbitals. They are dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square y square, dz square. These five values are what? Five values are nothing but minus L to plus L including 0. That is what here I am taking. L value is 2. So it will have the values that minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1 and plus 2. My in some textbooks they will give always Z is 0 like they'll allot minus 1 plus 1 Z PZ for 0. Here also dxy minus 2, dyz minus 1, dzx plus 1, dx square y square plus 2, dz square plus 0. Otherwise, we can follow even this order also. There is no issue. Okay. Now, when whereas come to the L equal to 3, f orbital. Then f orbital is nothing but see m equal to 2 into 3 plus 1. So 2 3s are 6 plus 1. It has 7 orbitals, means it has 7 values. So F has 7 degenerate orbitals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 it is. Okay, 7 it is. So when it has the 7, they can be fxy, fyz, fzf, fxyz, fx square y square, fy square z square, fz square x square. These are the f orbitals, 7 degenerate orbitals, and it can have L value 3, right? So m value should be in between minus 3 to plus 3 including 0, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. Okay, and these have the 7 spatial orientations, like we can say 7 values for the 7 spatial orientations. These are what are those also we can see ma. The 7 f designated orbitals are f x into x square y square, f y into y x square y square, like that only f z into x square y square. These are the three. And next one is fxyz, and another one is fz cube, and another one is fyz square and fxz square. These are the 7 degenerate orbitals, and its shape is complex shape ma. And its shape is complex shape, like also we can say. And these are degenerate orbitals. What is exactly degenerate means? All these orbitals, all these 7 orbitals of f, 5 orbitals of d, 3 orbitals of p, same shell, in the absence of magnetic field, possess same energy. That is the definition for degenerate. Degenerate is nothing but the all orbitals of the same shell in the absence of magnetic field possesses same energy. They are possessing same energy. That's why that is called the degenerate orbitals, like we can say. Okay, so this is the information we are getting from the magnetic quantum number. And here it has given the shapes also, ma. See, when we are coming to here, s orbital, it has only one. So according to this, we came to know that s orbital shape is spherical. And see, s orbital shape is spherical. That's why it is unidirectional, and it has only one value. That one value is 0. It has two electrons. When it has come to the p is the dumbbell shape. It has three degenerate orbitals. One is px, py, pz, and each orbital can accommodate the two electrons. So total number of electrons here, it is 6 electrons, and its value is minus 1, 0, plus 1. This is the total information about the p orbital. Then come to the d orbital. D has five degenerate orbitals. Then one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it is already we know that dxy, dyz, and dzx, and dx square y square, and then dz square, dx square y square, and then dz square. And it also has the five degenerate orbitals. And here I am filling the electrons according to the Hund's rule, ma. Okay, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square, y square, dz square. This one has minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. Each one can accommodate 2 electrons. So total number of electrons in the d is 10 electrons. Now come to the f orbital. F orbital can have 7. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so this is also minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. So total number of electrons are 14 electrons, and its degenerate orbitals are these one: fx into x square y square, fy into x square y square, fz into x square y square, fxyz, fz cube, fyz square, fxz square. So these are the degenerate orbitals. This is the information we are knowing to the about the magnetic quantum number. Okay, now come to the next one is the as a spin quantum number. So what is the spin quantum number? We know the spin quantum number was proposed by Uhlenbeck and Gaudsmith. See, this Gulenbeck and Gaudsmith, they have given the clockwise spin and anti-clockwise spin to the orbit. Let us see here. The fourth one is a spin quantum number. In this spin quantum number, given by Goldsmith, Uhlenbeck, and Goldsmith. And see here, this is denoted by small s, and it is denoted by small s. And this represents what is the information giving this spin quantum number. It represents the direction of electron spin around its own axis, around its own axis. That is nothing but, see here, electron anti-clockwise direction, electron clockwise direction. So clockwise direction plus half, anti-clockwise direction minus half. It is the first electron, it is the second electron. So clockwise is plus half, anti-clockwise is minus half, like we can say plus half. That means we can write in the three dimensional. See, if you are drawing like this, clockwise, if we are drawing like this anti-clockwise, okay, clockwise, anti-clockwise, it will be plus half, it will be minus half, it will be the first electron, it will be the second if I written just like in this, if I write like this again, it is anti-clockwise, I have to bring completely like this, then it will be the clockwise. If we write in this direction, then it is the anti-clockwise direction. See, so they are giving that for upward arrow plus half, for the downward arrow minus half. This is the clockwise, and a downward arrow is the anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction. So they are giving. Okay, this is the information about the spin quantum number. And here, see, in the spin quantum number, so they'll give you some of the questions, and they can ask the which one it is going on. Otherwise, either the following quantum numbers is possible or not also we can see. So let us see some of the applications on the quantum numbers. Applications on quantum numbers. See, applications on quantum numbers is nothing but comes to the first one. Suppose they have given n equal to 3, l equal to 2, m equal to 0, then s equal to plus half. So n equal to means 3, l equal to 2 means it is d orbital. When we are talking about the 0, then dxy, dyz, dzx. Then we are talking about the 1, 2, 3, right? Dzx, so m, third one, m value means because it is minus 2, minus 1, 0. So we are talking about the 3dzx, and s is plus half. So we are talking about the first electron. So it is designated with the 3d3. These are so where the electron is exactly present. Now we are able to identify. That is what in the starting I said. We can address the electron where it is exactly present. Now they given these four quantum numbers. I am addressing the electron, that electron present in the 3d3, present in the 3d orbital, first third electron we are talking about 3d3. Otherwise sometimes they'll give the orbitals also, and they ask to write the quantum numbers also. Okay, they can ask to write even the quantum numbers also. That is also in the same process only we can do. Suppose they have given 2py, right? 2py they are giving 2py2, so they asked you to write its quantum numbers. So first one indicates the quantum number n equal to 2. L value, how come we know what is the p l value for p? L equal to 1, that indicates p. Okay, how to calculate m and s? See, here we are talking about py, px, py, pz, then it is see, minus 1, 0, plus 1. So we are talking about py. According to m, what is the value of py? 0. So m value is 0. Whereas come to the next s. How to identify s? He said 2p2. 2p2 is nothing but here one electron, here one electron, isn't it? So this is Hund's rule. What is the Hund's rule? Pauli's exclusion principle, and that one we'll study in the Hund's rule, Aufbau principle, and Pauli's exclusion principle. These three we'll study in the next video. Ma. So it is according to the Hund's rule. Each electron should fill first, then only it should pair up. Each degenerate orbital should fill with one electron, and then only it should be pair up. That is the Hund's rule. Then py has the second electron, but in the py, which electron we are upward direction, that is nothing but s value will be plus half. That is the this is the second example. So quantum numbers gives also we can identify the orbital, orbit, and if they given the orbit, and then also we are able to identify the quantum numbers. And third one, sometimes they'll give like this ma. See, n equal to 3, l equal to 3, m equal to 1, then s equal to plus half. Identify the either it is possible or not, like they can ask. This type of if they given, that is not possible. Why? Because n value always should greater than l ma. but n is 3, L is 3. So they said n equal to L. So this is the wrong quantum number. It is the wrong quantum number. Sometimes how they can ask, when n equal to 3, L equal to 2, M equal to 3 minus 3, then S equal to minus half, like that they'll give, and they'll ask to write its orbit number, orbital. But it is not possible. Why? Because n equal to 3, okay, fine. When L equal to 2, L equal to 2 is nothing but that is D, but M value is minus 3, but M depends on L, and M values should be minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2 in between the L value, but it is exceeded the L value, so this quantum number is not possible. So these are the four types of questions they can ask from the quantum numbers. These are the applications, guys. If you have any doubt, you can ask, and please do watch the video till the end. Okay, uh, to get the more knowledge about the quantum numbers. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Please do subscribe to my channel, and please share the video, and like the video. Thank you so much.